What it do, people? Is the MMA guy. Today, I just wanted to talk about a specific matchup that has been talking to me, and I've been really uh, curious about this matchup. And I wanted to see, trying to break it down and give a prediction on this specific little, very underrated matchup. This is a hardcore fan's delight, and let me tell you why. So we have Asu Almabayev, who's a prospect who has gotten a loss recently to Manel Cup, but then bounced back against a very dangerous contender in Jose Ochoa. Then we have Alex Perez, who's a vet at this point in this sport. You know, he's 7 fight deep in the UFC, if I remember correctly, and he's been on a tough run. You know, so you look at this and you're looking at it, you think, oh yeah, this is gonna be Almabayev, just gonna win this. But then you try to look at the wins and the losses. So if we look here, I'm going to try to do my best to remember. So this is a win to Jose Ochoa. The Almabayev's last win is a win to Jose Ochoa. Then he had lost to Manel Cap. Here he beat Matheus Nicolau. Before that he beat Jose Johnson. And you're probably thinking, who's Jose Johnson? And no one knows him for his fighting ability, but he's that 6 foot flyweight. So that's why people know of him. And then before that, it was CJ Vergara, who's a bottom tier. So we have two bottom tier flyweight in Jose Johnson, but Jose Johnson is long, so he has like a bit of an X factor to him as a bottom tier flyweight. Then here we have CJ Vergara, who's really a bottom tier flyweight. Can't seem to get wins. There we have Matheus Nicolau was ranked, so that got him in the rankings. Then he lost to Manel Cap fairly easily, but he was eye poked at multiple time, and that's how the finish happened. But he was not winning that fight. And here he beat Jose Ochoa, who's a late notice replacement for him and a very dangerous guy. So that's a good win. But he did wrestle him. Now, when you look at Alex Perez, okay, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that meme about Steve Erceg and every opponent, like a average Steve Erceg opponent since being fed to Pantoja for the title shot. And it's like him fighting. Oh no, the meme is every Steve Erceg opponent after KOing Matt Chanel. And it's like Pantoja, Moreno. Then he beat he lost to Kai Kara France as well. Now he just got a win, against an unranked guy in Ode Osborne, and they're like going back to building him up. But here we have Alex Perez, who never really got that shot, because in the last 5 years, in 2020, he fought Davison Figueiredo, who he got finished by. Then after that, they were like, okay, you lost that fight, we're just gonna give you Alexander Pantoja. Mind you, this is Pantoja 1 fight removed from his war with Moreno that got him the title. So we're talking about a very prime Alex Pantoja. So he fought Figgy, who was prime. Then he's fought Pantoja in his prime. Then after that, he lost a fairly close decision. That was a 29-28. And he lost to Mohamed Makayev, who's 7-0 in the UFC, who literally has beaten Manel Cap. Beaten Manel Cap, Tim Elliott, Alex Perez. He has multiple ranking wins, and he's 7-0 in the UFC. Submitted Cody Durden in 1 round. This is like, we're talking about world beaters here. We're talking about guys at the absolute pinnacle of the weight class. And then the second they didn't put him against a world beater, they put him against Matheus Nicolau, who's still a good fighter, who got a controversial split decision over Manel Cap, but is within that tier of fighters at that point in time. Alex Perez ran through him, TKO'd him in the second. That was a very good win for him. And then he lost to Tatsuro Taira, who's literally fighting Brendan Moreno next. So we're talking about a guy who the UFC sends its greatest warrior. It's like Alex Perez is kind of used as a are you the Dragon Warrior test or not? This guy keeps getting disrespected. Oh yeah, man, I like Alex Perez. Like he's a good frame for the weight class. He has good anti wrestling. That's gonna be very useful against Almabayev because he did good in the anti wrestling against Mokaev. And I think Mokaev is better than Almabayev, I'll be honest with you, because Cap absolutely dismantled Almabayev. Meanwhile, he was unsuccessful against Mokaev and lost. So we're talking about a guy who goes close, anti wrestling against a wrestler who's on a completely different level than Almabayev. This is a phenomenal fight. I mean, they have the same reach pretty much. Perez has a slight height advantage. She's not gonna do much, to be honest. But there's also the fact that he's coming off an injury and everything. This is a phenomenal fight for me. I feel like those guys are very, very evenly matched. And for Asu to get a win over Alex Perez would be very good. It would be a very good feat. Do I think he passes the Alex Perez test? I'm not so sure. I am not so sure. My pick for this fight would be I think Asul Mabayev in the striking department is very outgunned here. I think Alex Perez has legit KO power. And I think his anti wrestling is going to hold up. Thing is that it's 5 rounds, it's 3 rounds. You get taken down once, it's not good. I'm not so sure. I'm going to pick, and this may sound crazy to some. I haven't seen the odds on this fight. I'm not so sure what they are. But I think I'll pick Alex Perez to beat Asul Mabayev. And I think that this is a very underrated fight. We have a big prospect who's 4-1 in his last five. Has only lost to a world beater in Manel Cap. Where he did lose fairly badly though. He got finished. There are some asterisks around this finish, but still. And we have Alex Perez, who is beating the level of competition that Asul Mabayev is beating, and he KO'd him badly. Meanwhile, Nicolau went 29-28 with Asul Mabayev. And by the way, this is before. This is after Alex Perez KO'd him. So this is the fight right after. I'm gonna say that Alex Perez. I think Alex Perez is gonna beat Asul Mabayev in a decision. I have seen. I feel like Asul Mabayev's wrestling is not that good. His ability to get the fight down is not world class. I don't think. And I feel like the people who have put Alex Perez in a pretzel because he's been submitted before. We're talking about guys who are very, very dangerous. We're talking about Deveson Figueiredo, who submitted Joseph Benavides. We're talking about Alexandre Pantoja, who's submitting world class opposition like Kai Kara France and Brendan Royval and all those guys. We're talking about Mokaev is beating him in a fairly close decision. We're talking about Mokaev went 7-0 in the UFC. We're talking about Tatsuro Taira, who's literally challenging Moreno to get the next title shot, who's at the pinnacle of this weight class. And then we have Asul Mabayev, who's been tested. We've seen his level. We know where he stands. He lost to Manel Cap. Friendly. I don't think he would beat a guy like Royval. I don't think he beats a Moreno. I don't think he beats Tyra. I don't think he beats none of those guys. But which one is going to complete which one is going to, get to be that level, that guy right under this level for this weight class. And I guess I'm thinking Alex Perez is going to be. But I could very much be wrong. And I'm very much looking forward to this matchup. Uh, I don't know what you guys think of it, but let me know in the comment. Make sure you like, subscribe, and until next time.